The only thing that I loved in you was you being confident and raising hand out of all those 60. So I'm gonna give you a chance. I will keep you in my top 20. I'm firing rest 40 tonight, but you have to promise me, you have to remember whatever you're planning to do, somebody somewhere else already did it. Nowadays it's just if you do it better than others and how you reach out to your right clientele. If you strongly believe in something or a business idea, now especially after this AI evolved in and after COVID, you have a lot of resources online, and very important, take the chance. Just go for it, because in the beginning you have nothing to lose, but take action. Nobody is much talking about what are the advantages that Canada is having with the international students, I know a lot of companies that shut down recently, that were the companies that were providing employees to different warehouses or cold storages or meat factories, because all this was handled by international students, most of it, because yes, the local Canadian would not go work in minus 30 degrees.
All right, Niraj, how you doing, buddy?
Good, how are you, bro?
I'm doing amazing. Thank you so much for the invitation. Nice office, love it.
Thank you.
In downtown, the parking was a different story.
Little difficult, I know.
Little difficult, yeah. My cameraman.
Every time I invite someone to downtown, the first question is asked, do you have parking there?
Yeah, parking, exactly. Yeah. And we have a lot of equipments to come with.
Yeah.
So obviously it was easier. The fact that you had a parking inside the building, that's pretty awesome. Yeah. I like the flags here. So this one is India, of course, Quebec, and Canada. It's pretty sick. It's like, looks very international business.
Yes.
Maybe politics as well.
Not politics, but a lot of emotions with it.
Yeah.
India, where I'm born and brought up.
Yeah.
Canada, the dream destination where I wanted to come. And Quebec and Canada all combined is a place that made me from a middle class guy to a little bit better.
Very humble guy, eh? A little bit better.
Yeah, exactly.
I love it. So for those who are wondering, who is Niraj and what is he doing on my podcast? He's an entrepreneur. He has different businesses. He built, he started, he came from India. He came recently, like less than 10 years ago.
Yeah, I came in 2015 as an international student.
9 years ago.
9 years.
9 years.
Yes.
And you quickly moved up the scale, and you're doing pretty good right now. You have a nice office here in downtown. You drive a nice car as well. We're going to talk about the car because I'm a big fan of supercars.
Yeah.
Especially Ferraris are pretty nice. And also the fact that you're an immigrant and you came here and you made a good living for yourself, it's pretty awesome. And now you're helping other business owners. So you have a restaurant business.
Yes.
Where you sell franchisees to other business owners.
Yes, we recently started with one of our brand called La Canteen Punjab.
Canteen Punjab.
Yes.
That I seen it pretty all over the place on social media. You guys are
trying.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Like marketing is very good. So I want to talk about all that. The goal is to inspire other brokers. Usually I have brokers on my podcast, other entrepreneurs, and just to understand that everything is possible. Like especially someone from another country coming here. I feel like we're brothers. I'm from Sri Lanka. You're from India. So it's a different path, different obstacles. For people like us who don't really have an understanding of the language, especially in Quebec, we speak French here.
Yeah, I'm learning.
You're learning, right? Tu parles bien peu français?
Oh yeah, j'apprends le français.
T'apprends le français. But that's pretty crazy. 9 years, like the fact that you're learning, you're not fully comfortable, you still have a good business going on for you. So everything is possible, right?
Yes.
So people are listening to this, immigrants, you could be from any country, everything is possible. That's pretty much the goal on this podcast. And learn about this business you have, right? The franchisee business. You started your business in international students, so basically bring other people from other students from India to here, or other parts of the?
So
how does it work exactly?
It all started back in 2015.
Okay.
If I talk a little bit before 2015, I'm an engineer from India. I did my electronics and communication engineering. I completed in 2013. Then I went out looking for different jobs. I moved out of my house, lived somewhere in Delhi. I'm from Punjab, but I used to live in Delhi for whole 2014. That time I see there were few opportunities. I tried to work in different companies, but I was not making much. I used to make like $200 a month, something like that.
How old were you in that time?
I would say I was like 21.
21, okay.
Yeah, 21 when I completed my engineering. Then I moved out, started working into different jobs. Then few of my friends, we were talking that, maybe we should move out. Lot of people that I knew in the past, they were coming to Canada, they were going to Australia, they were going to New Zealand. So I thought, you know what, this can be another option. But the challenge was English because my first language was Punjabi, and then Hindi is the national language of India. English, I studied from a Hindi medium school, because I'm from a small town, so there, not that time back in 2005, 2006, there were not too many schools that were teaching in English. So, I started slowly. I started taking some classes in Delhi while I was working in one of the company there. Then I saw, I gave the IELTS exam that every international student has to give. I could not score much. So the only option for me was New Zealand, because that time I remember New Zealand was accepting applications. Then because of some circumstances, I didn't apply actually. Then I thought, you know what, I need to do something better. I need to work on the problem that I have, which was my speaking in English.
You just close the mic.
Yeah. Then I started applying to different jobs. One of the job was a collection agent in a Credit One Bank of US. That was a call center. So that was my first call center job, but I thought, you know what, let's apply. Applied through one of my friend's reference. I got the job, but there was a training process of 60 days. So 60 days I had to go through their training. It was paid training, so I was not much worried.
So you were in
India. I'm talking about when I was in India. So I started learning English during the day. During the night, I used to, take the training from Credit One Bank how to be a collection agent. During the training, I remember after 7 days, they were like clarifying some of because they recruited too many. Like they had 60 team members and they had to only choose 20 out of it. So I remember one of my mentor there. I remember his name, Amardeep Singh. I'm still in contact with him. Recently, I met him. He came to me. Why he came to me? There is another short story in it. So he said, so they were like asking people to speak about yourself. And out of all those 60 guys, I was the first one raising my hand and speaking in my English, which I don't even need. Didn't even know how to make the proper sentences, but I was the first one to raise the hand. I spoke a bit and then sat down, and then they asked random questions to all the other ones. Then by end of the meeting, he called me out. He said, listen, your English is terrible. This job requires English because you have to be speaking with the clients in States. But you have 2 months. The only thing that I loved in you was you being confident and raising hand out of all those 60. So I'm gonna give you a chance. I will keep you in my top 20. I'm firing rest 40 tonight. but you have to promise me you have to improve your English skills. So I did the same. I was taking English classes during the day. Nighttime I was taking learning how to be a collection agent. And after 2 months, I was finally hired. Out of 20, they fired another 7 and 13 were hired. I was one of 13, and I remember I worked there for over 4 months afterwards. And in my 3rd month, I started making bonuses because I was one of the top ones out of those 13 to be the best collection agent. I was collecting a lot of money from the credit cards that people were not paying on time. Then when my English skills improved, I again did the IELTS exam, and finally I made it. I quit the job. I came back to my hometown. I told my parents, now I want to go out. So 2 of my other friends were also planning to come to Canada. That time I remember one of my friend was living in Montreal. He said, it's a beautiful city. You should come here. There are a lot of opportunities. So that's what I did. I applied. I got the visa. And I remember in April 2015, I landed in Canada. I landed in Toronto. Then I moved here after 1 month.
Most people, most Indians, most international students, they tend to go to Toronto, Vancouver. There's a big population of Indian people there.
Yeah.
You decide to come here because of your friend.
So I decided to come here because of my friend.
Yeah.
And I also didn't know much about Canadian cities. So I thought, you know what, let's start a new journey from here.
If you knew a little bit more, you would have probably gone to
I don't know. It's all about destiny sometimes,
What about you knew that the city speak French?
Yes.
Predominantly.
Yes. At that time, being an international student, you have a lot of... now I see government is really supporting immigrants to learn French, investing in them so they can take the classes. But that time it was, I would say, there was not much support for the French. And so, I didn't get into French much. But that time I had other responsibilities too. I was working. I had a loan of $30,000 that I had to pay off. I had to go to school to complete my studies. So I went to one of the CJ here. I did computer mobile application.
Got it. Let me go back a little bit. Like, how was the process of coming here to Canada? Is it easy? Like, how did you apply to come to Canada? Because maybe like there's people that are watching from India, maybe another country. They're wondering, how does it work?
I would say the first challenge that guys like me around have is the funds. How do we arrange the funds? Because middle class families, it's very difficult to afford international education. It's expensive. And I know also that time also I had to take loan from my different relatives, from the bank, in order to come here. So this is the first challenge that we all think of, apart from the other challenges like the language and other requirements.
What's a good amount that you should have?
Now it's the amount is a little bit higher than 2015. That time we had to pay like $10,000 in GICs and then $15,000 to the college for 1 year to come, like around $30,000.
What is it now?
Now I would say it's around 40 because 20,000 is the GIC, is doubled, and then the tuition is again 16, 17.
For those who don't really understand the terminology behind GIC, what does that mean exactly?
GIC is a guaranteed investment for international students.
Guaranteed investment.
So international students, they open up their bank account in Canada. Like different banks, they can open up in Scotia. There is Indian Bank, ICICI, RBC, even TD is ICICI is an Indian bank.
It's here?
Yeah,
okay.
They started recently, a couple of years ago. But when I came, it was more like the market was dominated by Scotia Bank. Scotia Bank. So, you open up your account online and then you make a deposit. And once you arrive here, you get money every month in your account. So they return that $10,000 every month, like $670 every month come into your checking account.
So they reimburse pretty much your money that you
Yeah,
investing in their
they
account.
reimburse 100%.
Yeah, it's a bank. It's a bank account. At the end of the day.
It's more like I think it's very helpful for international students because once you come into a new country, you don't know where you will be spending. You might have some emergency, and you have to pay your rent. You have to eat. So those are the funds I would say is the safest fund that international student has that they can use over the time, and mostly they need support for the first year. Afterwards we start learning different stuff. So.
Before we dive into your entrepreneur journey, we'll talk about the fact that now it's a little bit harder for international students to come here. Like by looking at you, Niraj, you made a good living for yourself. You're actually helping the economy, renting an office, driving, paying taxes. You make a lot of money these days. So you're actually helping, right, the system, right?
Yes.
But unfortunately, the country doesn't see it this way. How do you feel about the changes that are happening right now for international students, and like the fact that you had a business where you bring people here? Now, are you still doing it? And my second question, or the first question, is, how do you feel about this change? Like, is it helpful for Canada, or is it not helping the Canadian system?
No, I would say Canada has a lot of opportunities. It's just how you see, the opportunities and how you use your time to invest in it. Because even when I came as an international student, I worked in different jobs. I went to warehouse, packaging fruits. I used to do pizza deliveries. I did a lot of jobs.
Yeah.
I see sometimes, not most of the time, sometimes these days people avoid doing hard work. Yes, it works out for some, but it doesn't work for everyone. Imagine if you don't have a job or you don't find anything, go out. There are a lot of people looking for employees or trying to find the right talent. You have to move out of your comfort zone and try to look for the stuff. Because I remember after coming to Montreal for 2 days, I didn't get any job. What I did, I went out. I started distributing my phone number to grocery stores, different places. I was walking around. Not too far. I used to live in Park X that time.
That's where I'm from as well.
So I see Park X is a place where most of the international crowd used to come, and there were a lot of opportunities, like for like small jobs. I would not say like small, but like warehousing or a lot of labor jobs are there. If you don't have much connections, you can get it easily from there. So I remember my first job was moving. So somebody just called in. He said, you know what? I got your number. You gave me a number. I have a job for moving. So I remember that was a family from Bangladesh. They were moving their house. So I called in my friends. I said, you know what? I got this call. Let's go. So 4 or 5 of us who just came in, we went out, helped the family for moving. We did the job in 2 hours. They paid each of us $28. That was the first money that I ever made in Canada. Right away, I went to, I remember, Western Union. I sent the money back home to my mom that this is the first money I made. I'm from a Hindu family, so we do believe in giving the first one to our gods. So yeah, this is how it started. And then slowly I started receiving few phone calls. I remember afterwards I joined one of the company. They were into packaging foods, Agrimondo it was called. Some of my friends, I saved their numbers with their name and Agrimondo, because most of us, we used to go there for work.
Got you. So I don't know why you said that most people, like not most people, but you're saying some people don't really go out of the comfort zone. The fact, but the Indian culture, the Indian people, they're not known for being lazy. They come here, they work. So personally, I feel like this law change doesn't really help the Canadian economy, especially like there's a lot of works that the Canadian people, they don't want to really do it because it's hard labors, and it does help to have international people that come here, take those jobs, and eventually move up, right? So I feel like for those reasons, it doesn't really help. And also, like the Indian culture, the Indian international students, they come here, they actually put their work. If you see Vancouver, if you see Toronto, the Indian culture, the Indian community, they're the one who's owning the city right now.
Yeah.
So it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
It's pretty bad for because of those changes. I feel like it's pretty bad. That's one of the reasons you got out of the business as well, I guess.
Yes, and I see like maybe the way negative news spread these days, the positive stories doesn't go out. Maybe that is the another reason. We saw on social media, okay, international students did this or that, but nobody is much talking about what are the advantages that Canada is having with the international students. You are right. A lot of jobs. I know a lot of companies that shut down recently. That were the companies that were providing employees to different warehouses or cold storages or meat factories, because all this was handled by international students. Most of it, because yes, the local Canadian would not go work in minus 30 degrees and doing labor job on 1625. I remember when I came, it was $10 something. Now it's 1625, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So of course, Canada needs the immigrants and also the youth, because if the population is declining as well. So definitely the youth is needed in Canada.
So it's a big land, right? So we need a lot more people to push the economy up.
Yes.
Let's talk about your entrepreneurship journey, right? So you started your first business as, if I'm not mistaken, your first business was bringing international students here in Canada.
So my first business was helping international students. So what I was doing.
How this idea came up?
Yeah. So I started working for one of the company which was bringing international students. So my job was more of like, going to the airport, picking up international students from the airport, finding them accommodation, buying them mattresses, getting them SIM cards. I was kind of one stop for international students. I would say from 2016, 17, 18, when they were coming, mostly from India, when they were coming here to Montreal, whatever support they needed. Then I had some connections with the agencies also, which were sending students to the jobs. So I used to connect the students with them, so they can, once they come, they can find a job, part-time jobs, to work and make some good living out of it. So yeah, this is how it all started. Then I registered a company called Air Arrival. I never launched it much, but that was the first company that I created that was to support students who were coming, landing through air, to help them, to find them accommodation and all this stuff. I didn't have much connections here, despite of international students. So I thought, 2016, 17, this is what I did. Maybe I should start, getting international students the admissions into different Canadian institutions. And then I started approaching out to different colleges in 2018. Then I set up a company more like B2B, where I was having contracts with the colleges, and on the other side, agencies were sending students abroad, and kind of a real estate agent.
Got it. You were brokering. So basically you were helping the international student.
Yeah.
And you were finding them a college, and you were making
it was more like a B2B model, where agents, you have in real estate, you have a broker, you have a customer who wants to buy a house, and somebody has a house, and you are in between, connecting both together.
So I brought my cousin from Sri Lanka, and the whole process was taken care of from this lawyer who actually dealt with the college students. I mean, the colleges. So he was actually dealing as a lawyer, applying for the admission on top of finding the college. So basically, you were doing that job. Right.
So we were just helping them to find the college.
Okay.
Nothing else. All the process was taken care by their agencies.
Got you.
And that's it.
So was it a good business
It was a good business, yes.
Is
in
it
the beginning,
still
it's still good business.
Okay.
A lot of companies now, there are many edtech platforms that are doing it.
What do you mean?
There are many technology platforms that are doing these days. So
so they're taking out the middleman. So the app is doing the job for you.
Yes. And this is how it started, 2018, 19, 2020. And then I remember there was a company, there was a restaurant here in Park X again. It called Punjab Canen. So that's how actually I entered into restaurant business. I went to the owner. I remember it was maybe January 2020. So he had a lot of Indian students coming in to eat, and I said I want to promote my business into yours because you have a lot of international students coming to eat. He said, I'm planning to sell. I asked him like thrice, don't sell, because every time whenever I was passing by his restaurant with my friends, we used to say this guy has really good potential, an Indian restaurant should be like that. Maybe because I was international student that time. So I asked him thrice, and he said, you know what, I already got an offer, but the guy didn't make it through the bank. So I'm seeing who else can buy. So I proposed him to buy out the restaurant, and I think we made the deal within a week. We shut it down first when we bought it. We outsourced to someone to make a logo, brought in the designers to make the new design, and I remember we reopened in March sometime after 2 months. Then the COVID came in. 20th of March, I remember they said, you know what, everything shut down, close the doors. Then we closed it again, and we reopened in June 2020. And then I know that time, everyone was struggling. Nobody know what to do, because it was something, everyone was seeing for the first time. So it went well. And I remember then 3 months after, somewhere in October 2020, remember government announced quarantine services for international students, that not international students, everyone who is coming to Canada, they have to have these quarantine services for 14 days. So I remember I was sitting at Punjab Canen one day. A delivery came in. I said, you know what, let me take this delivery out. I went out. I came to downtown for the delivery. I knocked the door. The guy, it was a young student of one of the college here. He was crying. He looked at me and he started crying. I asked him like, what happened? He said, I paid $1,000 for just this tiny room. He was staying at a motel. He said, there is no food. I have no SIM card. I went to the reception downstairs. I ordered the food. No, I remember before that we had the similar client whose family from India ordered the food on WhatsApp with one of our client of restaurant. So this guy came to pick up the food from the restaurant to deliver, because these young kids, when they come here, they don't know from where to order, how to eat, how to survive. And imagine they are like 18, 20 years old, and they arrive in COVID where everything is shut down. So that the whole time when I was coming back from the delivery, I was thinking what to do. I remember that time I was planning to invest in real estate. I called my real estate agent. I said, you know what, I need a space where I can do the quarantine services. I remember he suggested few places. Then we found one hotel in downtown, which they were using for which was again shut down because of the crisis. I think in couple of days we acquired the hotel. We started the quarantine services. And that time I remember we helped over 300 plus international students. So what we were doing, we hired someone, a full-time guy, not full-time with us, but what deal we made with him that, you know what, we will be charging like $550 to the students who are coming in. We sent out email to all our partners, whoever we knew. We started posting on our Facebook, WhatsApp, you know, that if somebody is in really need of these services, they can count on us. So what was happening, everyone was paying $550. There was a guy who was going to the airport, picking them up from the airport, single in the car, giving them mask and everything, then bringing them to our hotel. We were giving them separate room for quarantine. So in $550, the 14 days quarantine time was included. We were delivering them 2-3 times food from our own restaurant. I remember that time Desjardins Bank, some of the guys from there, they came up. They also supported. They were going to the hotel, opening up their bank accounts. I remember Fido, one of the guy who was selling Fido, he came up, he started supporting them. He was delivering SIM cards to them in the hotel. So this is how they were spending 14-15 days with us. If somebody needed more stay, and then our guy was arranging accommodation for them.
So everything started by this delivery that you weren't supposed to do it, but
exactly.
So you found a solution.
Yes.
You found a problem, and immediately you were looking for a solution. So
Yes.
I feel like every one of your businesses, it came from problems. You know, it came from some
them, yes.
from some problem that you saw, and then eventually you find a solution. That is what an entrepreneur is, right? So businesses starts when there's a problem, and we need to solve those problems. Yeah. As that's very smart of you. And so you were saying $550
Canadian dollars.
$550, and
so we were not making anything out of it, and we were investing some money out of our pockets also.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just, you know, I learned by then that when you put something for free, there are a lot of people that misuse it. Like, you know, we used to give like airport pickup and all these services for free also, for few clients in the beginning, and in the end I see some they cancel it on the last minute, and we have the guy who is waiting at the airport for them, and they say, you know what, I went out with my cousin. So we saw when something is free, people don't respect it.
Yeah,
so we were setting the bare minimum charge that was covering up most of the cost.
How did you fund your hotel? So basically, you made your money from your past business, and you were funding all the other businesses like real estate.
Yes.
Now, do you still have this motel?
I still have a hotel, and after these quarantine services, we brought in the construction companies, you know, to make the hotel nice. We did a lot of renovations, and then, you know, in the hotel, people go to sleep well, I guess. That's the most 90% of the reasons people book hotel. So we brought in the best mattresses that we could, that are being used in 5-star hotels. We brought in everything are branded, and then we reopened this into 2022 as a hotel, proper hotel, and now it's a 3-star hotel.
So you have a prestigious name as well, the Hotel de Paris.
Hotel de Paris.
It's pretty nice.
I got to know that it used to be owned by one of the famous hockey player in town. I don't remember the name, but I'm sure I'm gonna dig into it.
So can we say that you made most of your money to fund all the other businesses through the international student business?
I would say at some point, yes.
So you were making a good living with that business, and then after that you dab into other
Yes,
businesses.
I diversified.
Okay. And
I went into some real estate business also.
where you foresee the fact that the international business were slowing down? That's one of the reasons you diversified sooner, or it was just out of coincidence that it
I
happened?
would say it was out of coincidence.
Okay. That helped you, by the way.
Yes, that helped me, and afterwards it opened up my eyes that there are a lot of opportunities in other businesses.
Yeah.
And because coming to new country and starting something for the first time, you are not much aware. Then I started making more network and exploring more opportunities.
Those are key factors, right? So especially if you're not curious, like I see a lot of people that knows exactly what I do. They don't even ask questions about like, hey, how did you make your business? How did you make your money? I'm the type of dude. Even today, I'm making a decent living. I still ask questions to people that I'm curious about, and that opens up opportunities, right?
Yeah.
And what I see from you is that every time you had an opportunity or you were very curious about other people, that's how you opened the quarantine business. Now you're into the franchise business. Am I wrong? I know your friend Jim.
Mm-hmm.
Did you learn with him, or you learned the business of franchisee even before that?
We had in mind to start franchising, but Jim is a very good guy. He helped me in many things.
So mentorship
for franchising, I would say I ask him, like I text him whenever I have a question. But I think he did well in what he's doing.
Yeah.
So of course it's a good thing that you have a nice circle around, and you can support each other.
Once again, everything happened because you were curious, you were asking questions, and after that, eventually, that helped you start your business. And like what I like to say is, there are books who has been written about every business.
Yes.
On any mindset, pretty much everything in the world, everything that human created, there's a book.
Yeah.
On how how it works and how the whole process works, right? So having mentors, having people who are actually succeeding in their business, it's the easiest path to success. So you can simply copy and paste it on your business, and if you're an entrepreneur, you have this curiosity, and you're driven by it. Yeah. Obviously, you can make it. So let's talk about this franchisee business, right? Franchising can be a tough industry, right?
Yes.
But you still went into it. Like, have you studied the business before? Because not a lot of people make it. It feels like without having any experience before, your family wasn't in the restaurant business. How many franchises have you sold right now?
So if I tell you from the very beginning, when I finalized to buy the business, we were 4 roommates living in a semi-basement in Parkex. I told one of my friend, his name is Dinesh. He was working in a Domino's. So I said, listen, I'm planning to buy this restaurant business. I know nothing about it. And by that time, my sister also arrived. She had some passion into cooking. So I asked them, guys, if you can be in, I'm taking this. I will invest, but you guys will be my partners. But it will be your baby. You have to grow it. So I would say they started growing this business. I was more like a helping hand to them, but they grow it very
Talking
well.
about the Domino's pizza?
I'm talking about my
Punjab Canen
friend Dinesh and my sister who joined me from the very early stage in 2020. So they started taking care of the first location.
Yeah.
And then I had a lot of friends. So my core focus was why to look for investors or, somebody from outside when you have somebody in. So I started asking my friends first that, if you are interested, I have a vision, we can expand this business. I'll give you some shares. Let's come in. Let's open up more locations. That time it started like that. And I remember in 2021, one of my another friend, his name is Ishwar, he came in, and we planned to open one location on Queen Mary. That's one of our famous location that went viral from the very beginning. So October 18, 2021, we opened up the second location. And then during those times, I realized that, chefs and Indian restaurant business is very difficult, because you have chefs, you have guys for the tandoor, all of them, they have their own strategies, they have their own food taste. So to control the food taste, it's very difficult. So we started building a central kitchen. So the plan was we're gonna build up a central kitchen where we will be cooking everything and supplying to these two locations. This was the initial plan in 2021. I remember we rented out a place somewhere in before opening Queen Mary, around September, October, and we started slowly from there. And at the same time, we found one nice location in La Salle. The plan was to open a fine dine restaurant. Again, we were not from the business, so we did our mistakes there. A lot of mistakes, but we learned from our mistakes. We opened up a fine dine restaurant called Nawab Punjab in La Salle. A lot of people were loving it. They were coming in because the plan was we were giving fresh ingredients. Even the Indian spices we were bringing every week, blending in the kitchen and giving like fresh cuisine. So, you can just smell it before you have it. But afterwards we saw we chose the wrong location in La Salle. That kind of a restaurant could be in downtown or in Old Port somewhere.
That's the mistake.
That was a learning, I would say. But we did try for 1 year, 1.5 years, and afterwards we changed it to Punjab Canteen.
Got you.
So we didn't change anything inside. It's just the menu that we flipped completely, and also the branding of La Canteen Punjab, and we made it our third location. We did that this year, January this year, and I saw after that it really boomed up.
So let's back it up a little bit, right? So you started the other restaurant, which was a little bit higher in price, fresh ingredients, and eventually didn't work out. So you changed the whole branding. You didn't close it, because most people what they would do is close it. Take a loss and just go to something else.
No.
So what's the reason why we changed the brand? Is it because you studied the market? It wasn't going out.
So we studied the market, and I remember Dinesh was the only believer that we should change it 100%. It was little bit emotional for me, because one of my friends, Sukhvinder, two of us, we invested a lot in this restaurant. But then eventually we thought, let's change a little bit of the menu. But in the end, we came to an end that, it's not working out. Let's flip it 100%. And after that, we saw it was a huge success. We realized it within like 3 months of changing it to Punjab Canteen.
What was the key ingredient why it was eventually a success? Why it came out to be a success? Is it because
so Punjab Canteen, we really focus on affordability, consistency, and the comfort that we give in our locations.
Once again, I call myself Mr. Solution for mortgages, but you're the Mr. Real Solution. You always find a solution in situation like this, because it could be very emotional. Like you said, it's very emotional because you invest a lot of money.
Yeah,
you could have won much worse, right? But you guys changed it, you guys branded, and eventually made it a success. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's just the patience, require a lot of patience that I learned throughout these years. This is the must requirement.
And also the capital, I will say, right? So
capital, like, injecting money in losing business, it's also difficult. But I guess if you believe what you're doing, results will come eventually. But in the beginning, you have to be positive and motivate yourself that don't worry. Even if there can be a loss, so what?
Got you. How many franchisee have you sold at the moment?
So we sold so far 2.
Two. Okay.
So before we came into franchising, as I said, we really wanted to test it out, because we didn't just want to. I remember after we opened up Queen Mary, it was a big hit during 2022. Almost after like 8-9 months. We didn't just want to go to the market, because a lot of people started asking us, give us the location, we want to open Punjab Canen in Vaudreuil or different locations. But we prepared for this. What we did, we bought a location in Little Italy back December 2023.
In Italy?
Little Italy, yes, on Boubian Street. So we made it our own franchise location. So it was owned by us, but we run it as full franchise. That how our franchise customer will deal with us, work with us, what will be their experience, what can be the challenges that they can face. So to overcome all the challenges that could come in the future, we run it as a franchise location. We started supplying 100% from central kitchen, reducing the staff, using the equipments that using most of our most selling items there, keeping the menu short. And we opened up in June, and we see every month the sales are gradually increasing. And after keeping it open for 2 months, we saw, okay, this is positive now, it's happening now, let's go for the franchise. If you will see on our pages, it's like maybe month and a half ago that we announced that, all right, we are getting into franchises. As soon as we announced, I would say within like 5 days, we sold our first location of Vaudreuil. Took us maybe 15 days to find out the location, finalizing it, done. And October 12, we are opening.
Based on
and we have like 15 to 20 applications in pipeline that already requested for different locations, but we are interviewing people and trying to find the best fit for our business.
Let's talk about best fit, and also let's talk about choosing the right location, right? Most franchise owners, what they do is they pretty much do the research on finding the right location. What are the key factors for you to decide, okay, this could be the right location, with all the experience and all the obstacles you had in the past, where it didn't really went the right way?
Mm-hmm.
So you learn from it, right? So what's someone who's listening to this, maybe they want to buy a franchisee, or they want to pretty much open their own restaurant. What is the key factors to make sure it's the right location?
There are many factors. One, we prefer a walk-in street where it's easily accessible, closer to some of the public transportation, and now I would say we have lot of clients. We have corporate clients, we have residential clients. We do lot of takeouts during the day. So residential areas, if they are close, it's a plus. And last year we also started, we announced a bit about caterings. Again, it was something for the first time. There are a lot of players in the catering business in Quebec, especially into Indian food. But we did 18 marriages this year, awesome. This summer. All went well, and we already started receiving bookings for next year. So that's another segment of business that we opened up in restaurant business. Now the Vaudreuil location that we are opening, we are keeping a separate party hall for small events, because we realized in Vaudreuil there are not much Indian restaurants, and all the Vaudreuil clients are crossing the bridge coming to West Island, DDO, to have their small parties, events, or for in a search of good Indian food. But now we will be stopping their cravings right there in Vaudreuil.
Got you. What about someone who's listening to this and they wants to buy a franchisee? Like, why? Like, let's say if you have to sell yourself, mm-hmm. right? Especially the fact that it's been how many years? in the restaurant business. 4 years of
4 years,
business,
yeah.
but it's going pretty well now. What are the key advantages of having a Punjab canteen? Punjab canteen, and what are the returns that they can expect?
The first thing, we understand, especially because of the high in interest rates, a lot of restaurants shutting down. People are looking for investments, and maybe the restaurant business, it might be the last choice for them because they find it little risky business.
You're actually buying a job at the same time, right?
Yeah. So one, we are really keeping the cost low. So we really worked for these 4 years to reduce the extra stuff from the restaurants. Two, Indian restaurants, they burn a lot of money in the operational cost. Three, they burn a lot of money in the food cost also. So because we set up our central kitchen, so we really reduce the food cost also, working with the big suppliers because our supplies are high. So we buy the materials in bulk, and we deliver fresh food every second day to our locations. One, we take all the headaches away for the operational. If somebody is planning to open their own restaurant, they don't need to worry about how to set the things up, what are the pros and cons, what to learn. We will be giving all the information. We give a personal training to the one who is planning to buy or investing with someone within our existing locations. And then our team help them out for first 3 to 6 months how to run the business. The franchise cost is also not too high. It's like between 250 to 350k Canadian dollars. And the return of investment, we want our franchise to get their money back within first 3 years. This is what we are really focusing on.
The money to purchase the franchise.
Yes. No, whatever they invested, we try ROI to be within 3 years, first 3 years. And we don't charge the royalties for first few sales up to a certain mark is hit. When we know the franchise started making money, that's when we start taking royalties. And I know many restaurants, they charge, the market is generally 6%. We keeping it 5% because we want our franchises to succeed and become eventually our coming back to us again.
What I found out is from you, I thought $250,000 to, you said 350.
Yeah,
it's pretty expensive, right? Because I don't know that business, but you told me that that's pretty much that's very low compared to other franchisees. Like that's
yes. I would not say the names, but there are a lot of franchisees that are anywhere between 500 to 700,000.
That's crazy. And most people, when they want to buy something like that, they get a loan from the bank. They're not actually putting the whole money from there.
Yes. So, but still, you have to return it.
100%.
The loan
100%.
is a loan. So, and there is a government plan from federal government. So, any loan for these kind of businesses, you're taking, which is up to 500,000. 85% of the loan is backed up by government.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So the 15%, that's pretty much a down payment deposit.
Exactly.
Oh, that's
no,
awesome.
No, like, all right. So you have to make 35% down payment.
Okay.
But the loan amount is backed up by the government of Canada. So in terms of something goes wrong or anything could happen. So the total loan amount, 85% is covered up by the government of Canada.
They're still getting it from a bank, but
yes,
backed by the government.
Backed by the government.
That's pretty awesome. So you take care of all those processes.
Yes, we are working with a few banks, and yes, we do refer them to the bank, and it's a very quick process. Bank does reply within a week and clarify, and then because the loan is backed up by the government, so usually there it takes time. Your records should be clear with the government. If everything is up to date, usually they take 2 weeks for for the approval process.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty, like anybody with 35% down of the whole amount of loan. But then after that, then you need to open a location.
So we find the location.
Okay.
So far we had Vodre Doria, we had the DDO, 2 locations in Laval, 1 in downtown and 1 in Brossard.
What about the renovations costs?
Renovation cost is anywhere between 150 to 200K.
Okay, they're not much.
Yeah.
And usually people take a loan for that.
Yes.
And is it backed by same government
same. Yeah.
So the whole
the whole loan is 85% is backed up.
Okay, that's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. And what's your vision for the next 5-10 years? Like, do you want to take over the whole Montreal?
No, the vision is, of course, to expand our brands. We are launching another one called Tikka Way. So chicken tikka plus takeout. We combined it to Tikka Way because there was another problem that I saw in the industry. Indian food is seen as oily food. So we are cleaning this up. So the Tikka Way that we are launching, it will be a healthy Indian takeout food, mostly focused on wraps and balls. But we are not taking away the authenticity. There will be the right flavors, the same spices, but
tell me there's going to be butter chicken.
Huh?
Tell me there's going to be butter chicken.
Of course, there will be butter chicken.
Awesome, I'll be a client.
There will be butter chicken and there are a lot of other items. But mostly we are focusing on grilled food.
Grilled food, okay.
So less oils and so I know these days, especially after COVID, we all humans are more concerned about the health. I'm not saying our other foods are unhealthy, but of course this is going to be something different.
That's awesome. And now that you sold some franchisees, what's the next on your entrepreneurship horizon? Like, what are you looking to do? Is there any trend that you're looking right now? I know real estate. You dab into real estate.
Real estate, yes. I'm getting into real estate. I'm investing a bit. Depends on the opportunity. I started investing into real estate when we opened up Queen Mary. So we acquired the whole property, and we opened up the restaurant in our building. Same thing, the Tikka Way first location we are opening on Saint Laurent. That's again our own property. So this is how we are investing in real estate. At the same time,
it's pretty smart. Like, it's pretty much the whole McDonald's business, right?
Watch the founder.
Yeah, you watched the founder
during COVID, so
inspired
that
you
gave the idea.
So what are the advantages of having your own business, which is going to be your client?
Yeah,
but the building is owned by you.
See, we are confident about the business, so we know it's gonna grow. So that's why, because it's a risk also.
Yeah,
if it's your business, what if the business doesn't go well and doesn't pay you the rent? Then you are on the double risk because you are not making money out of the business. At the same time, your property is not making the money. So that's why we made sure that our businesses are success, cash positive. By the way, forgot to mention, the whole group is bootstrapped. So have not went into financing for a couple of years. So made money from one business, invested into second, into third, made money from the second, invested into fourth. So bootstrapped the businesses, took most of the risk. I would say 100% of the risk. But in the end, it was good.
Looks like everything that you touch turns into gold. So you're good. You're good, my friend. So let's talk about your car, my friend. How long you had this car? What is the car already? It's Ferrari. You said F8 Spider,
yes.
Right?
So it's Ferrari F8 Spider.
Okay.
I'm not that crazy a car guy.
But you went for the big one.
No, but I'll tell you, there is a little story behind it. I remember, maybe I'll send you the picture also. Maybe when I was 11, 12 years old, I saw 2 nice cars in a newspaper. I remember I cut those 2 cars. I stick it on one of our Almira in one of my parents' room. I stick it on there and it's still there. I'll send you the picture. When I bought my first car here in Canada, in 2016, I went to India in 2018. I saw the picture and I started laughing because the cars that I posted, I remember one was Chevrolet Cruze, and the other one was, I don't know the brand, but it was more like a hatchback, red color hatchback car. So I bought the first car in Canada for like $1,200. It was Honda Civic, 2002 model, something like that, for deliveries. Then I don't know, it was maybe from the back all those years. I was fond of cars or something. I don't know much specs and all this stuff, but whatever I like it, I used to buy. So 2 years after, I bought a Volkswagen with the car, with my first car with sunroof. So excited about the sunroof. Then I remember 2018, I bought a old Range Rover. That was more like, okay, now I have SUV. I will be taking another SUV. Then I bought a G-Wagon G63, but it was 2017 or something. Then the craze came in for the cars without the roof. So I remember when I was doing pizza deliveries, that time I saw that Mazda, without convertible. So I thought that time back in 2016 that, okay, this is the car maybe I can afford, but I will buy a convertible car one day. So I ended up buying Mustang, red color Mustang. I bought in 2019. That was for my sister. I bought it a gift for her birthday. But like since then, whenever I used to buy the cars, it was like random. I remember I was thinking what to give to my sister, and I was passing by. I was thinking like, a perfume or what, blah, blah, blah. And then I saw a red Mustang parked outside of Kia on Tashru Brossard. I went in. I said, bro, I want this car. He said, okay, whatever. We made a deal. The next day we picked it up. I gave her surprise. She was super excited. I know I drove it more than her, but that was my first convertible I bought. Then I remember during COVID, I went for service of G-Wagon. This guy, he showed me, he said, you know what, I have another beauty. Come, let me show you. It was a 2020, it was in 2020, G-Wagon G63, black. I opened up the first door, it was all red inside. I opened up the door, I looked inside, I closed the door. I said, bro, let's make the deal. You take my old G-Wagon. I want this car right now. And the next day I picked it up. I still have it. It's a beautiful car. Then I bought some other cars like A220 Mercedes, Audi, Tron, when the charging cars came in. And this year I was looking for something else, something new. I went to Holland Leasing with one of my friend, looked into McLaren, some other cars, and then I took the test drive for McLaren. I was driving it. It was little like, the not too comfortable from inside. My friend, he owns the place, so I said, you know what, bro, I don't know. When I was coming to you, I saw Ferrari Quebec. I don't know. I feel like I need to go there. He said, let's go. We went there. I asked him which one is the good. I said, the only condition is I want a convertible and I need a red because Ferrari is red. I know there was one of my friend. He said, you are emotionless. You are planning to buy Ferrari. I said, I know, but I don't know. There was no plan to buy Ferrari. And yeah, bro, in like 10-15 minutes, we finalized it. And after 5 days, it was on the road.
That's pretty awesome. So someone who wants to buy a Ferrari.
Yes.
What's the initial investment for you for a car like this?
So after I bought it, I got to know from few friends that you cannot just buy brand new Ferrari just like that, because you need to have a past record of with the Ferrari.
Okay.
Only then you can own a Ferrari.
Okay. How did you manage to buy it?
I had some
Connections. Okay,
yeah.
that's good. So I'll come back. I'll go through you.
Yeah. But it's like you give some money down.
Yeah. I heard it's like it's around $50,000, something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah.
You give some money down, and then you can easily own it.
Okay, that's pretty awesome. And you say that it brings you business, it brings you connection.
It got me a lot of attention.
Attention, of course.
Yeah, and I was even told by many of the events where I went to that I'm the first Indian who bought Ferrari in Quebec. I don't know if it's true or not, but I was told by some of the old guys who are living in Quebec for like 20-30 years. It's good to know.
Out of 1.8 billion people, like what is it right now in India? Like
No, in Quebec.
I know, yeah. But I'm talking about the whole Indian population.
I think it's around 1.4 billion now.
1.4 billion people.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Indians all over the world.
Yeah.
You're the first one in Quebec to buy a Ferrari. Good job to you, my friend. Good job to you.
Thank you.
That's the powerful statement. And what I like about cars is that I'm not a car guy, but it just bring your business, man. I have an M4 competition BMW, and like I purposely bought it for just business purposes, because people, especially in the corporate business, they want to see if you have success. The great minds wants to be around other great minds, right? That's why there's a phrase, birds with flocks fly together, something like that, right? So and especially if you want to prove a point that you have a successful business and you want to attract other people, this is one of the statements you can easily do. Obviously, you have to be smart about it. Nobody wants to work with someone who's actually talking, but they're not putting the work, or they're not actually showing, right? So you're actually doing it, and it brings you business. Like right now, obviously, I wouldn't say the Ferrari attracted me to do this podcast. I got the attention was there. Then after that, I asked questions to see, okay, how does he do this money? Like having a Ferrari it's not something that he could have without making a little bit of money.
I strongly believe that if you're doing good, do spend on yourself, do what you like to do or what you dream to do in the future. It's very important, because this is something keeps you motivated and keeps you going.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. We're coming to the end of the podcast. It was very inspirational. There's a lot of nuggets. I'm pretty sure like people will get inspired from it, and maybe take one or two takeaways from this podcast and apply it in their business. Are you a reader, Niraj?
I did read few books in the past.
Books? Okay.
Yes.
Well, what's one of the best book that helped you?
That were not much related to business,
okay.
But I read one book, The Power of Subconscious Mind.
Subconscious, okay.
So that book I read, and there were a lot of stories in it that I read, that what you think of doing, if you keep working on it, one day for sure you can achieve it.
Absolutely. That's a great book, by the way. I read it a couple of years back. I'm a big reader. I like to read at least one book a week. Like I said earlier, everything has been already written, right? Yeah. From pretty much any business, any mindset, any industry. So you could pretty much learn from Elon Musk by reading his book. Yeah. Learn from Jeff Bezos by reading his book. Learn from how to manifest, like how to sell, how to market, pretty much everything by reading books. And lastly, if you have to go back to the younger self when you came to Canada, and you can give him one advice, what would be the advice that you will give him as someone who has a lot of experience now, money now? What would you say to this young Niraj?
I would say if you strongly believe in something or a business idea, now especially after this AI evolved in, and after COVID, you have a lot of resources online Just look for it, do your market research, and very important, take the chance. Just go for it, because in the beginning you have nothing to lose. So just take the chance. If you find the right mentor into that space, take advice from them or try to reach out, but take action. Don't just think, for example, I know we all read books, but what we learn from the books, we really need to implement that in
100%.
real life. Because if we don't take action, remember, whatever you're planning to do, somebody somewhere else already did it. Nowadays, it's just if you do it better than others, and how you reach out to your right clientele.
That's a great statement. Yeah, if you do it better, everything has been already done.
Yeah.
All you have to do is if you copy and paste it and you do it better,
Yeah.
you will have amazing success. That's very true. And if you have to hop in the same time machine and go back to your older self, you're 70 years old now, right? You're coming back to, I'm sorry, you're 70 years old self, coming back to the younger self right now, the present day, and he has to give you one advice. What would be the best advice he will give you? So you have a lot more experience, lot more.
It's something hard to say, but I would say give time to yourself, and that's what I realized a few years ago. I was too much into business. Now a few years back, not too many years back, like 2 years ago, I really realized that need to give time to yourself, to your peace, to your health. So not only financial stability is important, 3 stabilities are important: physical, mental, and financial. So, and all 3 are connected to each other.
Absolutely.
You achieve one of those, then it's super easy to achieve other 2.
What is the biggest asset more than money that you have?
I would say peace.
Peace, right?
Peace, and only peace.
That's great. He doesn't drink coffee, he doesn't drink tea, he doesn't drink any alcohol, no smoking.
I'm
vegetarian as well. So that came also after some time. So
sometimes you learn.
Yeah, 100%.
Do a lot of mistakes. You learn. You do it once, it's a mistake. You do it twice, yes, it can be again mistake. But you again repeat it, then it's not a mistake. You are doing it. So I would say avoid it.
You're right.
Yeah,
you're right.
You fall down once because of a stone. Okay, next time you look after for the stone, you don't have to fall down. You fall down again because there was something else, but should not be a stone. So this is what I believe in.
Great mindset, Niraj. And for those who wants to contact you for maybe have more information about your businesses, Punjab Canen or anything like that, what's the best way to reach out to you?
They can email us at contact@punjabcanteen.ca, or easily just DM me on Instagram. Or I know I was not much into social media for the past few years, but now I'm planning to start and giving some free advices to all the younger crowd, because I know these days is important.
100%. And thank you for this podcast. This is your first podcast.
Very first
podcast. Yes. And there's gonna be many else after me, that's for sure. You did an amazing job. Raj, thank you so much
thank you, brother,
for doing this. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for bringing this in. As I said to you before, this is also first time for me, but you took me out of the zone and said, you know what, let's do it. So
that's what I do best. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.